I got my
You like that?
What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning to another episode of Right on Cue Podcast. As always, I'm your host, Logan Chestnut, the El Jefe of Right on Cue. And tonight, for you guys, I not only brought the big guns on the guest, but I brought the big guns out for the co-host as well, man. My good friend, you know him, you love him, from the one of the best podcasts I used to listen to, Backyard Matters, none other than Mr. Josh Hess. What's up, Mr. Josh?
Hey, thanks for the intro, man. That's a
Yeah,
lot
buddy.
different from what I sent over for you to say. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah. I mean, that was just too many adjectives and superlatives and stuff like that. I just
Yeah,
couldn't do
you
it.
made me a lot cooler than I really am. So thank you. I appreciate it. Happy to
Well,
be back on the air.
That's right, buddy, man. I told you it's like riding a bike. Like-
Yeah, I always had a tricycle, so
Nah, dude, I totally understand. Speaking of riding a bike, man, I'm gonna have to like hop on this horse because I got my first barbecue comp in shit, probably 7 months.
I didn't know you still competed.
Yeah, I'm still
Like I thought you just straight did this. That's good to know.
I should just do this because this is the only thing I do halfway decent on.
Yeah.
Very loose. I'm saying it very loosely halfway decent. No, yeah, cooking smoke on the shore here in Lebanon, Tennessee. One of my favorite comps. You know, also helps that it's 30 minutes away from my house. So you know that's always a huge plus. A lot of some of the best teams in the world are going to be there. So super excited to see everybody. And if you're there at the contest, please come over and say hey to me. I may have something for you, and I'll be happy to say hi and catch up because it's been a fresh minute. I'll be over there with my buddy Cotton Barbecue. So I'm looking forward to it. There we go, Robbie Q. Hess Hogs.
Oh, what's up, Robbie Q?
Big man.
That's my buddy.
No, I know. No, so yeah, cooking. I'm helping a buddy him out, like I was telling you before the show, and kind of doing some things for him and getting everything prepped. And I had like, you know, it's wild. Like when you get out of the sink of like your barbecue kind of mindset.
Yeah.
Like, did you ever have to like when you take a break, you have to like go back and like look at your list, and you're like, all right, what do I need? Like I'm literally like reading a recipe at this point, like exactly like what checklist of everything I need.
Yeah, a list has helped me. You know, fortunately for me, we pretty much compete all year.
Right.
We'll try to have, schedule a marquee trip. You know, a couple years ago it was Florida. It's been Atlanta, kind of in the off season. So that helps us stay sharp. But it never fails. I always forget something, and it's not something little, it's something major.
Always.
But yeah, that's what's good about a good barbecue community. You show up for a comp, you're like, hey, I forgot. And they're like, oh, we got you.
Yeah, absolutely. As long as you don't forget your meat. Although, you know what? I've screwed up meat before, and I've had to pick up meat at a contest before. So, I feel like I go to a wedding or I'm having a wedding, something new, something used, and something borrowed. I always go to somebody and ask for something. I always borrow something at every contest for a little luck. It just becomes strategic.
Yeah.
Because people have their recipes on the wall, and I may or may not look. Oh, what's going on here? And
I can see you with those glasses, those metal
a
glasses.
little like cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah. I mean, I got to
Jacob
get
Watt
post.
taught me that. So
That's right. I got to get post on the podcast somehow, man. So
yeah.
It'll work. No, man. Hey, but thank you so much for coming on, man. I truly appreciate it. Like I said, man, I truly enjoyed back when you were on the air. I said you're my lawnmower listen every single week. So I enjoyed it, and I always miss your voice. So that's why I call you. Your face, not so much, but your voice is.
I know. That's why we didn't have a visual. this voice.
No, man. Speaking of like some marquee barbecue contest, man, you had a decent one here pretty recently. How about that? Let's talk about that.
So yeah, I had the opportunity, Jamie with Two Sauce Guys Barbecue, another backyard team. And, Team Smoky Woods, Team Heath Riles, right?
Shout out Team Smoky Woods.
Yeah. Smoky Woods had a big weekend this past weekend with the SCA and kicking things off there. But Jamie reached out and he's like, Josh, hey, I need someone to come with me to this international comp in Costa Rica, in Jaco, Costa Rica. And he's like, I need you to build boxes. I'm like, Jamie, you know what? Let me get my permission slip signed. So I spoke to my wife, and he was there for like 7 or 10 business days. And he's like, I need you there that long. And I talked to my wife, and she gave me the best I can do was 5 days. 2 of those 5 days being travel days. And I was like, you know what? I'll take it. So I had the opportunity to fly over there, and beautiful country.
Oh, I told you it's stunning.
Yeah, I did not get to see any monkeys. I was really disappointed. I wanted to see monkeys. I didn't see monkeys. Fortunately, I didn't see sharks either. I did see crocodiles. Or they have a bridge called Crocodile Bridge, and they were doing construction on the bridge. So it was a 4.5-hour drive from the airport to where we were going, and we came to a stopping point where it was over the bridge. So people were out taking pictures, and sure enough, there were crocodiles. So that was exciting. Yeah, the event was amazing. There were 16 teams there. There's 2 U.S. teams, Jamie's team being one of them, and then you've probably heard of Brad getting basted.
I've heard of him.
Yeah, that guy. He showed up, so that was awesome. And but yeah, the teams there, they were so wonderful, very hospitable. They helped us get our proteins and directed us where to get kale, directed us to certain places not to go because there's some things that is readily available over there that you shouldn't go do. And yeah, stay away from the dollar massage parlors.
Oh,
yeah. We had standing jokes there. Everyone kept
happy on the front, happy on the back, right?
I just don't know. I avoided that, and but
that's fair. That's fair. No, so let's talk about procuring meat internationally. Like what's some of the challenges you face cooking an international contest that we take for granted over here?
Well, one, just how easy it is to find it being new in country. They have their versions of Walmart's over there, and the chicken was fine. The ribs were beautiful ribs that we were given. Those were ordered through a restaurant. And then one of the team's gentleman's name is Paulo, and they ended up, GCing the event. And they should. Justice Barbecue, shout out to those guys. They actually got us briskets and the pork. And the brisket was just a regular, it really was like a choice grade brisket you find at Sam's. But knowing that on the front side, that's what we practice with. And it wasn't too terribly hard to cook. Just knowing that's what, the expectation was. There might have been some teams with Wagyu over there. I think the amount of money you would have had to try to find to get it imported or go through back channels really just wasn't worth it.
Yeah. I mean, it's expensive enough. What did you get to? I mean, I'm sure like most contests, I'm sure you're like me. I don't care to eat any barbecue ever, but were you interested to did you try some of the other teams kind of barbecue or was it?
I did. Yes. So Jamie and I, the way we split it up, Jamie did ribs and chicken, and I was with pork and brisket. And while he was doing, his turn-ins, I was kind of just wondering, site to site, just trying the other team's food. And there's a lot of great cooks.
Yeah.
A lot of great cooks over there that understand what tender means.
Absolutely.
So from a judging perspective, it's good to see the judges are, they understand, hey, this is a tenderness game, and that is subjective. Mm-hmm. But from a parent standpoint, from what we saw for boxes turned in, I mean, they would come over to the U.S. and do just fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of great cooks and knowing about great tenderness, I'm excited to have our guest on tonight, man. I would say there's few people that can say they've had the season this guy's had and the amount of consistency he has had here as of late. Winning at some of the biggest stages, some of the biggest, I don't know how we say, rodeo events, possibly out there. But man, I am super, super, super excited to have this guy on. Like I said, you know him, you love him. Everybody, welcome to King, Mr. Ryan King from King's Barbecue. What's up, buddy?
How's it going, fellas? How y'all doing?
Good, man. We're doing good, brother, man. Thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate it. I had to get the double big guns out tonight, man.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. I like that little cowboy hat you got sitting next to you, man.
Oh yeah,
Has that left your bedroom or is it staying there?
it's right next to my phone, right on. It goes Bible, this, then the phone. That's what it
Good
goes.
order.
That is awesome, man. So, man, you've been doing good. Like I said, your seasons. I mean, you are you like Hess? You don't really have an off season. You pretty much run.
So my typically, like my wife and I will really focus on family right around from Thanksgiving until the second week in January. Every year we typically leave right after Christmas. We go to the mountains and we don't come back until January like 5th. And that's a good recoup time for us. So that's what we do.
Don't think about barbecue at all, do you? You don't even want to look at it.
It's always on your mind whenever you're we started out competing and it's grown into vending and catering, and now we're looking at possible brick and mortars. It's just what I do. It never stops.
I feel like it's a common theme with a lot of us barbecuers. Like none of us do stuff half-ass. You know what I mean? Especially the ones we all have kind of a semi-addictive personality or traits. That's part of ourselves, and I feel like Hess, I mean, you're the same way. Like whenever I discovered, the competition barbecue and kind of discover the whole scene, I mean, I went, head first. I mean, it wasn't like, half-assed. It was, I was like, this is who I am. It's like, it's that joke, when you turn 30 and you start cooking meat, you're like, well, this is who I am now. I'm the grill guy.
Yeah.
Kind of how did your barbecue journey start off with, Ryan?
Yeah, it's just it's very similar to what you said. It started so literally July of 2014. The good Lord introduced me to two very important things in my life: my wife and competition barbecue, all on the same day.
Oh.
And 3 years later, I was married to her. I was taking my first barbecue class with Myron Mixon. A year later, I was getting my butt kicked in the Georgia Barbecue Association. Took 2019 off, and then 2020 happened, and everybody took that off. And then I finally did my first KCBS at the end of 2020 and got my butt kicked like bad. And I did my second KCBS event in Bonifay, Florida, like right after. So my first KCBS event was in Savannah in August. So if you ever meet someone, they're like, you know what, I want to do competition barbecue. I'm like, okay, yeah, go do a barbecue contest in Savannah in August.
Bring a jacket. Is that what you're saying?
9 degrees. You won't get your name called. You got to clean up. Wake up the next morning and look for another one to do. That's how you know you want to do it. And just started doing it right then. And then when I went to Bonifay right after that, I never heard my name called once. And I went there, competed, really wasn't feeling confident, left. Well, the guy who was cooking next to me wrote down my phone number because it was on the side of my trailer. And he called me like halfway through my drive home. And he's like, you said you never get your name called. It was called 3 times and you were in the top 10. How about swerved off the road? And a year later to the date, I went back to Savannah, and that was my first GC.
Wow.
And then it just nonstop after that.
I got you. Talk about like kind of your journey from, like you said, I feel like we all kind of do this. I mean, most normal people, I know I've heard a few stories where people come in just swinging, but I mean, you start off, you think you're king of the neighborhood, you think, everybody tells you how great your barbecue is. You're like, all right, man, I got this down pat. And Josh, I'm sure you're the same way, like, man, my stuff, my shit don't stink. And then you come into, your first contest with other pros and
find out all your neighbors were liars.
Yeah. Roses really smell like poo-poo, like Mr. Andre 3000 says.
Yeah. So when I started out, I had a little Oklahoma Joe offset, and I cooked really bad barbecue. And ribs aren't supposed to be. You should never need a knife for ribs, right? It's not a steak, right? It's I think you have to cook really bad barbecue when you get into this. I think if you get into this and you're just already at the top, I've never heard of that. But I'm not saying it never happened, but I think you got to fail a lot to win, especially in competition barbecue. At least I had to. And when you fail a lot, that's the best teacher.
Yeah.
Cook something that is really bad, and you'll learn from it.
I know. Did you have that moment, Josh? I want you answer this as well. Like, you remember looking back at your first boxes and kind of like how proud you were of those boxes, and like you're like, man, this is like, it's like you were taking the ugliest girl to prom and you had no idea. I mean, you were proud of that date, but she was pretty ugly, and you look back, you're like, what was I doing?
Well, yeah. It's. I can remember because before my first comp, I had signed up for the barbecue league. So I watched it 187,000 times before I did my first. And it was an unsanctioned comp, and I got lucky, right? I got my name called, and I can remember posting the pictures of my turn-ins of the ribs and chicken and the pork steaks. But one thing that stood out to me about the barbecue community, at least on that, I could probably pull it up from 4 or 5 years ago when I did that post. There wasn't not one person talked any crap. Not one person made fun of it. Not one person was like, seriously, Ray Charles built that for you, bro? You know what I mean? Were the judges blind there as well? Everyone was positive. And then I remember having some one-off messages about, hey, next time, maybe you don't need to make your ribs look like piano keys. Next time, maybe your chicken thighs, you don't want to turn in, half pounders for each chicken. I mean, just name something that you could do that could be offensive to, say, a certified judge versus a non-certified judge. And I managed to do that. And yeah, it'll pop up on my memories and I look back, but I'll be honest, there are boxes I turn in even, last week, I was like, oh, wow. What was I thinking?
Yeah. How about you, Ryan? You look back and you got some ugly ducklings?
Oh man. Like I'll go back in time and look at what I built and I look at what I do now, and it's night and day. But at the time, when you build your first parsley box and you put the ribs in there for the first time and they actually kind of look straight, man, I did that at my house. I thought I won something. Yeah. But now I gotta watch. See, now it's like when I compete now, like if a mistake happens and I kind of get mad, I'll shove stuff in the box. I threw 12 ribs in the box one time. I didn't know how I was going to close the lid, but they were getting 12 ribs. If they wouldn't come eat, they're going to eat today.
Yeah. Wow, I'm with mediocre.
Yeah.
You put a whole rack of ribs in the damn box.
I put it 6 on 6, man. I closed that lid, took it up there. Just later, I was shaking my head and kicking myself. But yeah, man, I went back and looked at my first GC and the boxes I put together. Yeah, you need to have a talk with those judges. Come on, burn in shouldn't be burnt. Should be barking some glaze to them.
Yeah. What was something that was the hardest for you guys to kind of overcome or kind of like get a realization of when it comes to being more successful in barbecue? Like what was the hardest step for you to take to kind of see a more consistent success? Because you both have, obviously, we talked about before the show, both have obviously had great success in barbecue. What was it, something you said was like that first step? You're like, all right, that was hard, but I think I can nail it now.
Probably 2 things. One, getting out of my own way, and 2, most importantly, finally figuring out what tenderness is and not being scared of it. Because tenderness, like on the ribs, I mean, if you think they're overcooked, they're probably dead on. I mean, I really push ribs, and before I learned what that tenderness was, I was very worried about pushing it that far, and that's where you're getting in your own way. But you got to learn that. You got to learn it, and someone has to teach you. Someone has to teach you, hey, it's okay to push it to 212 because it'll be all right.
Yeah. Yeah. That was definitely, I think ribs for me is my hardest protein to nail, especially with, like you said, tenderness. That's something it took forever, and I don't even know if I'm still there. I don't know if I would say I've overcome it. I'm getting better, but like you said, like what you think is probe tender or what you think is done, like at home you'd pull those off and be like, "Yep, we're good," is nowhere near what KCBS is ready for. And I feel like ribs are least forgiving when it comes to tenderness as well. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, it's either you're there or you're not. There's not a lot of in between there. Whereas brisket and pork, it's kind of subjective.
Ribs, black and white.
Yeah, ribs it's you is or you isn't.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
A good indication is just lift up from the middle of the rack, and if the sides drag on the table while you're lifting it up, they're done.
Well, there you go. Shit, there's free advice right there, guys.
Yeah.
Josh, what about you, buddy? What was kind of the hardest step for you?
Well, he hit it, just getting out of your own way. I found there were so many times that I would second guess myself. And early on, my brother Kyle, he traveled all over the place with me. And my brother Nathan did as well for the first probably year. And then, I bring my daughters. And of course, I don't want to be offensive to dad. So, it tastes great, Dad. And then my brother's like, this sucks. So I never like, you know what I mean? Never like a happy medium. But when I started thinking about what I was taught in classes, when I was actually slowing down and listening to the other cooks out there that were nice enough to share, hey, make it non-offensive. Hey, that is truly a good bite. Hey, come over here, try a bite of this. What do you taste? And when I started, I guess, applying that and stopped overthinking it and really just dumbed it down, that's for me was one of my big turning points. And then at the end of the day, and we can all say this, and every viewer watching this, nothing beats luck. There are times I have turned in some food. I was like, really? And I got a call. I'm like, really? And then the other side, I'm like, hey, this is getting a call. And I just sit it on my hands and I clap for everybody else. So there's always that component of it as well.
One of the biggest things for me was actually touching it for the first time, like an actual perfect rib. I had an opportunity to teach at the Atlanta Barbecue Store class in January a couple of years back, and Triple H was teaching ribs.
Yeah.
And I had an opportunity to taste one of his ribs, and it was like a light bulb went off because you actually put it in your hands. When you can touch something, it really starts clicking in your head.
Yeah.
That's something we talk about. There's lots of, before when we all first started, I think we all started close to the same time. I was like 2019 around that time. But, there wasn't a ton. There was the barbecue league, and there was some Malcolm Reed videos. I think we've all watched those, how to barbecue right, and some Harry Sue. And like you said, some of the barbecue pit measures kind of stuff, you kind of watched him and kind of take notes and, get, shig what you could. But you're right, though. It's like one of those things. Like you don't know greatness until you've, seen it or touched it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it like you can, unless you, like you said, unless you try like one of Bill's ribs and you just like, it's hard to explain. Like Ryan could give me his recipes, and I could cook. Me and him could cook side by side and cook the exact same protein. And his stuff's going to kick my butt every time because, he knows how it should be done. It's not so much recipes. I feel like recipes and stuff play to a certain degree. It'll get you 65% of the way there. But I feel like the rest of it is, like you said, the techniques and the small kind of know-how of how to get your horse across the finish line.
Yeah.
That kind of sound about right?
Tenderness and the last 5 minutes when it's on the board. That's those two things right there probably represent the majority of the wins. Don't get me wrong, like sourcing proteins, selecting what you're going to take. I think Brad said it one time with Getting Basic. He said you can't win a contest on Tuesday, but you can lose one.
Yeah.
You picked the wrong protein or wrong size or not enough marbling. Yeah, but I think the most important thing is when it comes down to tenderness and the last 5 minutes on that board, what do you do to it?
Yeah. But I mean, like we say though, man, I could give you a choice brisket, Walmart ribs and some ugly chicken and some, ugly pork. And I give somebody that's less experienced and less know-how, the creme de la creme, you know what I mean? The Wagyus and the Durocs and all that stuff. And it still won't be a contest. I mean, yeah, it's, they have the start of something nice, but if you can't finish it, it's like me trying to draw a picture. Like you can give me all the best stuff in the world, but you're still getting a stick figure at the end. I'm not gonna. You're not gonna have no Picasso over here. So
it's all about, and you gotta learn from taking classes. You learn from friends out there, and you learn by failing. It's like my big thing was pork. Like I got ribs down, but I was still very touchy feely on pork even last year, taking it as high as I do now. And that was just, friends tell me what to do, me watching a class online. So it's a tenderness game, and it's on that board right before it goes in.
That's right. Let's talk about kind of equipment, because that's always one of my favorite things to talk about, man. What are you working with, man? What smokers are we doing?
So whenever I'm if I'm vending or doing a large event, I'm using a Old Hickory EL EDX.
Okay,
that's a rotisserie, and you can literally put 15 briskets and 20 butts on there and go to bed, wake up, they're all done at the same time. If I'm at a competition, I'm on Gateway drums. I like how they cook. Like Josh, I was a big barbecue league nerd, and so I got my first Gateway, and after I got my first Gateway is when I got my first GC, and so you start out by getting one Gateway, and then you end up with two. I'm telling everyone out there, just go ahead and get four, and you're going to end up getting there one way or another.
What is it, guys, do you think is about that can flavor? Because we talked about on the show before, and kind of the fads. Every kind of era has fads, right? In the earlier times, it was call them cabinet cookers, Humphreys or Deep South and stuff like that. Like that was the thing to do, and then or Assassins, and then it kind of progressed to offsets, and then pellets had their moment, and then all of a sudden I remember seeing my first can at a contest, and I was like, man, this guy don't know what the hell he's doing. He's cooking on some trash cans. I thought some homeless guy snuck in, but he got a call. And what's it you think about the can flavor that's kind of taking the world by storm? Obviously, a big part of it, I'm sure, attributes to Barbecue League and kind of see one, hear one kind of mentality. But what is it about the cans that kind of you think has kind of overtook the barbecue scene?
One thing that I was taught at an early age, I heard from my father, and I heard from Myron Nixon, is fat rendering and dripping on hot coals and steaming back up its flavor. You can't mimic that. Yeah, and the only way you're going to do it is by cooking over hot coals.
Yeah.
And with Gateway, I know I removed the diffuser. I mean, I got a water pan just to turn and burn, but I got fat dripping on them hot coals. And it creates a flavor that you just can't mimic, and it's delicious. I mean, I personally love the flavor of it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and just that comp that I was at a couple weeks ago, in Costa Rica, there was 2 or 3 different drum manufacturers there, and we cooked on. They're called drum cues, and they ran pretty true. But all the teams over there, I mean, probably 95% of the team, 15 of the 16 teams are cooking on a drum style. Mm-hmm. And to your point, the the conversations I would have with them was exactly what you described, of just that taste with the fat rendering. They like to say sizz. Sizz was a word. I'm like, okay, so you've watched the league, and yeah, they have. But but when you think about that from a judging perspective as well, so many people cook with that. That, does it change what a judge has come to expect? And that's not necessarily 100% true, because there's plenty of folks that cook on different styles of pits. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying for cans and the popularity of it and just the flavor profile they put off, it's hard to beat.
Mm-hmm. I've been to contests before where offsets were getting calls a lot.
Yeah.
And I've been to contests where top 10 all had drums.
Yeah.
And it's funny how judging will kind of be a little bit different for each, but I've competed from Houston to Florida, up to Tennessee, the Carolinas, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I've lost a lot, but I've won a lot on some cans.
Well, and to your point with the different styles, so I've been leaning into the Rib Cook-Off Association this year, and I've had 2 comps, one in Texas beginning of the year and then one in Wisconsin. I guess it's about 4 weeks ago, and it seems like it's a 50-50 split. There's half people have cans, and the other half folks, they're cooking on their jambos, their offsets, and I've not been able to see like a clearly defined, hey, this is what's hitting. Now, again, it's only 2 comps that I've done. I've got 2 more stacked up this week or next 2 weekends while I got an opportunity to see more. And there's about 40 teams at each of those events, but it seems like a pretty big split. I don't see a lot of pellet cookers out there. Maybe to finish it, I guess I saw a couple of rec techs while I was there in Texas. But the young man who won in Texas cooked on Jambo.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not get a chance to try. I wish I would have tried his ribs. I just didn't get over there because the whole world knew this kid is just on fire cooking ribs, and in a good way. And I didn't get to try them, but man, I think I would have liked to have.
You see a lot of pellet cookers out there, man. A lot of pellet cookers.
They make a pretty rib. I mean, I always say pellet ribs are some of the prettier ribs out there, honestly.
Yeah.
If you ever get a chance to cook on an Old Hickory.
Yeah, I had Old Hickory CTOs.
Yeah, they were made for pork.
Yeah.
I mean, the color that they put off is just every time I cook on mine, it makes me double, take 2 thoughts about maybe I should use this, because the ribs that come off of that Old Hickory are just beautiful. I mean, beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. What is it? All right. So, we're talking about fads, fads in barbecue, how it's made a rotation and it's ever changing. I'm sure it's going to be something next is coming out. What did you see? There was a video down, and we had them on the podcast about the rotisserie attachment to the Double D cans. So it took a can cooker and it had a rotisserie aspect to it inside the can. What is it? Why do you think that rotisserie cookers hadn't made a bigger impact? Because I think as far as like self-basting and evenness of cook and stuff like that, especially for like brisket and ribs, I mean, a rotisserie cooker, like to your point, it's you can't beat the consistency of it.
Yeah, I think one, I think a can is aside from the flavor, it's a lot faster than an Old Hickory. Both A, to heat it up, and B, to cook something and finish it. I think their cans are very fast. Rotisserie, even if you're cooking, you can't get the temperature too hot up. You get the temperature above 275. Those fans kick on Old Hickory. You got that fire going. You could really singe some meat. It just takes a little bit longer. Like ribs for me on the Old Hickory is about 2.5 hours of smoke, and then it's about an hour.
One song only. DJ, spin
Sorry.
that shit.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, no, I was gonna show you this. This is what I was talking about. I don't know if you've seen this, but look at this. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Ryan. Sorry, I meant to.
You're good.
But it popped right up. Yeah, check this out. He's got
Oh yeah.
I mean, I think
Come
like I
on.
said, it's pretty. I think it's pretty awesome.
That was a heck of a color. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was stunning. I mean, it's so cool. Like I think that's gonna be a fantastic addition to a can right there. I thought that was that color's awesome. But that was what I was talking about as far as like the rotisserie aspect of it. I think something like that could be. I think it'd be cool to have.
I wonder how many racks on that rotisserie they get in there.
I think you could do 3. We talked to him. I think you could do 3. He's working on it. But
That'd be fun to play with.
yeah, I mean, I think for ribs especially, I mean, that'd be solid because it'd be solid like rotating and basting itself and dripping on it. I mean, I don't know if it'll affect the color, but you can always, once you wrap the ribs, you can fix all the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder how. Yeah, I'd really like to play with that. I wonder how low it gets to the coals and
Yeah.
that.
Sorry, I had to show that. We were talking about that. I was like, man, I don't know if you had seen that before. I was like, that was the coolest attachment I've seen on a can before.
Yeah, that's awesome. And that was the Gateway?
No, that was a double D drum. I think I'm murdering it. It's out of Texas.
No,
Yeah, we'll talk about it after the show. But yeah, it was pretty. It was pretty cool. I'm excited. I'm excited to try to get my hands on one of those. But what is one downside? So I love Gateway drums, and like I said, I've had Gateway drums. There's a ton of great drums out there. Hunsekers are fantastic. Gateways are awesome.
the Ringo.
The Ringo, yeah, is taking over. The greatest enhancement of cans with a foot pedal opener. I mean, gosh, that alone sells it for me. Yeah, I was excited to see that when I saw that come out. But the thing I liked about the Ringo is you could put a full pan in it. That was the only thing I didn't like about the Gateway. It gets a little smushed, especially like for chicken cooks. If it depends on how many thighs or legs you run, trying to get 2 half pans in a Gateway is a little tight, as they say. It's like me in a store-bought suit. It's just a little tight.
You got to bend up them corners, man. You got to bend them up.
I know, but no. Like, let's. Have you got to see the Ringos and kind of play with the Ringos? Like,
I saw them. First time I saw a Ringo was Rooters and Tutors had one at the Jack.
Yeah, Paul.
And Paul had one on his little rig.
Express. Yeah.
I was like, when I first saw it, I was like, that's big. And then he showed me the foot pedal thing. I was like, that's cool. and then I realized I already have 4 drums. I'm like, well, I can't buy one now. I got to run over my drum to buy one, and I'm not going. But no, they look cool. And there's some teams down here in Florida that are running them. Tillman, he has one, and they love them. They like them a lot.
I mean, they make great cookers already. I think he's leaning.
Space on them.
What'd you say?
A lot of space on them.
A lot of space. That's one thing I do love about them. That 100% aluminum and the foot pedal. I mean, I can't say foot pedal enough. Everybody should steal that design from him and put a foot pedal on your cans.
Aren't they doing an auction at Smoke on the Shores?
Yeah, they're gonna give a raffle. They're going to raffle one away. I'm definitely going to be buying me some tickets. Now I saw that I'm trying to talk my wife and me out of is that double Ringo.
Double Ringo?
Yeah, it's a double Ringo. It's like a version of a hog cooker. It's pretty much just 2 Ringos in one, combined in one. It's got 2 fire. They're separated by the interior wall, and it's got 2 charcoal baskets on each side, so you can run 2 temps at different times. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. I'm trying to talk myself out of it. I may or may not be losing that battle. I haven't decided yet, but I may let myself lose. But no, I don't know. I'm a grill junkie. Like my wife's like, "How many do you need?" I'm like, "1 more." That's my answer every single time she asks me. How about you guys? Like, do you ever think like you can have too many grills?
Yeah, I literally last week got my first Weber 28-inch master.
You can't beat a kettle.
Oh man, I cooked on it yesterday, and it's just awesome. And I had to talk myself into it, and I love it already. I cooked some skirt steak on it. I mean, you're right over them coals, and you want to talk about getting some sizz, man. You are just Gordon Ramsay said it perfectly. No color, no flavor.
Yeah,
man, you can get color on some meat on that.
I mean, can we all agree here? I mean, I think every red-blooded American should own a Weber cattle.
I think two things. One, you have to own a Weber of some sort, and two, you have to. When you learn how to drive, you got to pull a trailer for 2 years.
There you go. That'll teach you and scare you at the same time. No, but honestly, I mean, I think Weber kettle is the gateway drug into backyard barbecuing.
Oh, yeah.
It's like I said, my wife bought me the one you've seen, the ones with the red, white, and blue, the American. Yeah, my wife bought me one for is it 4th of July or something, Father's Day or something. I was so excited. I love Weber kettles and kind of the nostalgia about it. You know what I mean? It's like I'm sure we've all had great fond memories about a backyard barbecue or your dad cooking on some kind of grill. I mean, but you hear like a Weber kettle and you can smell it. You know what I mean? You can smell those. Like I can say Weber kettle, you close your eyes and you smell like burgers or steaks or hot dogs. There's not a better grill for a hot dog. I'll fight somebody.
Nothing but Kingsford charcoal just rolling in and down on one side, and you're just like cooking up, man. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. It just makes me want to run to the 4th of July.
I know. I love it. It's an amazing, and it's light. So
yeah, you pick up throw in the truck.
Exactly. No, so what is one of y'all's earliest memories? Let's talk about, because barbecue it's in itself it's purely American. I feel like, or not American, but I mean when we think of like Southern barbecue how we do it, it's an American thing. What is like your first memory of experiencing barbecue as we know it? Like, give me your first, like when you're like, man, this is some good stuff.
Josh or me?
We'll start with you, Ryan, since you're our guest of honor.
Growing up, every 4th of July, we're cooking ribs, burgers, hot dogs, and we're inviting people over. And my dad got a big green egg, and he let me run it while he watched TV. And those ribs were probably awful. I thought they were the best thing since sliced bread. Like I was like, well, it just don't get any. This is where it's at right here.
Yeah.
And I remember to this day, I think I have pictures of it on my phone because I saw a picture of it. And I took a picture with my phone. Somehow I got it on my phone. And that right there, just burgers, family, smoke, meat, barbecue. It don't get better than that.
No, I love the smell. Like whenever, like if that's like the thing is for me, especially like when someone's lighting the grill and they have something going, like I'm automatically gravitating to wherever that is.
Oh yeah. And you all like you can tell when someone's smoking or grilling.
Yeah.
If someone's smoking, you can smell if they're doing it right. Yeah, you'll smell that hickory. You'll smell that pecan. And if someone has like a Weber going.
Yeah, I know.
I would like to comment. How did you say pecan?
It's no. It's pecan. Thank you, sir.
No, Ryan, it's pecan. All right, I'm just making sure we're on the same page.
My good friend Jody and Kent Harris would correct me right now.
Yeah, I'm putting Hess on a 30-second timeout right there. It's my show, and the only proper way to say it is pecan. Thank you.
Pecan, huh? Okay.
Yeah. All right, I'll bring him back.
Oh, look, I'm back.
And we're back. No, it's pecan. But no, like you said, Josh, how about you, man? What was like your first nostalgic memory of like barbecue?
It was Thanksgiving. I remember being like a freshman in high school, and my mom was hosting it, and my mom decided she wanted to do a smoked turkey, a whole turkey, and I had no idea. And this was before the internet, and so there was just the instructions on the package, and she's like, "You got to cook the turkey." I was like, "Okay, I hope I don't kill somebody." I mean, like all day, and I don't even know, it was just some cheap smoker, and I had it in there, and my grandfather came over, and I kept waiting and waiting, thinking, is it done? And they, we had the little plastic thermometer, right? 'Cause I get know any better. I'm like, 14, 15 years old, never cooked, never done anything. But smoking the turkey, and it's like off of Christmas Vacation, right? Like there's no saving the neck. And he pulls the thing. He's like, "You mean tell me you've been waiting for this thing to be done?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he was a butcher for Kroger for like ever, right? So I automatically offended him, and rightfully so. I mean, I would be offended too, knowing what I know now. But I'll never forget just the smell and just being out there and then learning that you can burn your deck. If if you don't put a pan down, I did that as well. But for me, that was a good time.
Yeah.
That was a good
All right.
time.
Let me ask you this, Ryan. All right. So when you first started barbecuing, we're not talking about competition here, right? What is one protein you feel like everybody should start barbecuing on, and what is one protein that when you first tried to do it scared the hell out of you?
I think everyone should start with like chicken or ribs because it's a quick cook. You can get your confidence boost that way. You can, even if you fail, it still probably won't be that bad. I think the one thing that scared me the most was trimming a brisket and cooking it. Like something that big to me. Like now, I'm cooking like 25 pounders. And when I started out, I got me a 12-pound brisket. I'm like, this is huge. This is going to take all day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what was that like? Tell me your first, because everybody, I mean, Ryan, you're a stud, absolute stud barbecuer, and so are Josh, you too. But like, how many briskets did you ruin before you get one that you would deem edible? Or
oh Lord, man, it's like,
I mean, no one's first brisket. I have to tell people, like, whenever people ask me, because I'm sure you get hounded with barbecue questions, they're like, "How do I cook this brisket?" I said, I always tell them, "Look, man, your first one, no, what you do is going to suck.
yeah.
I mean, it's not going to be great. Just know it going through. My first one, I threw away.
Yeah,
I cooked it for 13 hours, and I tried to bite, and I threw it right in the trash.
I'll tell you, my first one I cooked, we were more impressed that I made a smoke ring rather than we were like, "Do you see this? It's pink." Yeah, but we had to pull it apart. And I think you like. I remember having a party one time and cooking ribs, and I cooked like 8 slabs for like 20 people.
Yeah,
and I promise you, I was passing knives out so that they could. I'm not joking. They ate it like steak.
Isn't that embarrassing?
They're like, "Yeah, this is great." And now looking back on that, they're just lying to protect my feelings.
Yeah. Story about knives with ribs. My when I started kind of getting into it, my wife, she's fancy, comes from fancy background, fancy family, all that stuff. And I can remember having the ribs out there, and we're teaching my girls how to take the bites out of it, and we're just a mess. And my wife, fork, knife, just cutting her. I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she's like, "This is how I eat the rib." She doesn't do that way anymore. She's since learned. She's been indoctrinated in, how to eat ribs. But yeah, and they weren't bad ribs though. She just thought it was the proper way to eat the ribs.
Yeah.
And she was wrong.
I
can say that. I can say that she was wrong. Look at
that's
that.
right.
I still, I mean, I was still learning. I still learn even to this day, right? So, like the way I slice my ribs, I didn't start slicing my ribs like that till 2024. And what I mean by that is, you're never going to have perfectly straight bones, right?
Mm-mm.
So, I mean, just so you're having to line up from the bottom knuckle to the right to the top of the bone, right, to make straight ribs. And it's just like before that, I was trying to get directly in the middle, and my ribs were always real thin and stuff. And it's just like you constantly fail and learn, fail and learn, fail and learn.
Yeah.
What is it like, Ryan? Now that you brought that up, I want to do a little shigging on you. If that's okay.
Come on.
Yeah, it's my show. I'll do what I want. No. So when you're cutting ribs, right? We're at a competition. We're back to competition cooking now. You're at a competition and you're cutting your rib. Are you trying to get equal amount of meat or as much meat on both sides of that bone, or are you okay with cutting it and one side of the rib favors a little more meat than the other one?
Yeah, one side will favor a little bit more meat because if you're trying to get perfect amount of meat on both sides, it's going to be very hard unless you try to Hollywood cut each rib.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What Hollywood cut means is basically you're sacrificing the bone on the right and the bone on the left so that the bone in the middle can have too large amount of meat on the other side. What I do personally is, without fail, all the ribs are at a diagonal, right? And so I'm the bottom of that knuckle. I put my knife, and at top of the knife, the other rib from the other side, it's right there. So I always have one side of the rib that has more meat on it than the other. I haven't had an issue with it. So,
And hopefully the KCBS judge, they are taking the bite from the meatiest side of the rib.
yeah.
Hopefully.
I mean, you assume, but I do the same thing. Like when I do a chicken thigh, right? I don't know, Ryan, you do thighs or legs?
I do a thigh wing box.
Thigh wing box. Okay. Overachiever. I like it. No, so like thighs, right? Whenever I'm trimming, I'm sure whenever you're trimming, sometimes you get those. It's like all the meat's on one side of the bone. Like when I'm trimming, I'm trying to get a nice thigh bone that has pretty equal meat on both sides of the bone. Do you do that too, or do you care?
You're gonna have problems finding that. What I do, you're never gonna find a thigh with that's gonna be meaty on both sides. You're just not gonna do it. One side of that thigh is gonna be real thin, and you gotta really kind of trim that off because it'll get dry. I think the biggest thing with thighs, in my opinion, is the weight. Each thigh I try to get around 9 to 10 ounces. And then after I trim it, it's probably right around 5. And that's what I'm looking for. And so, one side's going to be meatier than the other. And I trust the judges are taking a bite from the meatier side.
Where in the Nutty Professor are you finding 8 to 10 ounce thighs?
You got to look, brother. You got to look.
Dude, how many cases of chicken you go through? Like I remember, like I literally at some point, and you know how it is, like the meat throughout the year, like winter meat and summer meat are not the same chickens.
No, they're not.
And like you get to like in the summer or something like that, and like I was going through a case of Springer Mountain thighs to get enough for one comp.
Yeah,
and like, but some of these other ones, like I usually like to start off at 8 ounces, and I'll trim it down to around 5. But yeah, like 8 to 10 ounces, like I would be going through 3 cases.
I find the natural brand. We have Winn-Dixie in Florida, and we got Publix, and Publix has a natural brand of chicken, and so does Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie is actually a Springer Mountain product.
Yeah,
and I typically get the 4 packs, and they typically weigh 2.4 pounds to 2.6 pounds.
Yeah,
and I'll find some good thighs. If they get below like 2.3, they kind of get small on me, so I try to find 2.4 and up.
I got you. Yeah, speaking of chicken, Adam or Chicken Man right here, Adam, you need to plump them things up like Dolly Parton, okay? I want some big ones. You know what I mean? I want some big old thighs. Because the ones I've been working with, they're on a diet. They're on Ozempic. They weren't having it. But no, yeah, that's been like my hardest thing to find. I can usually find ribs. So let's talk about ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about now. We're talking about a little meat selection here.
Yeah.
When you're going for a rib, there's 4 main categories. You got the color of them. You like a redder rib. A lot of people like a redder rib. Then you got the marbling, and then you got the weight, and then I think lastly on the list is the bone structure and stuff like that. Make sure no shiners and stuff like that. When you're looking at a rib, give me a 1, 2, 3, 4. What I just listed of most importance to least important for you.
For me, it has to be the way it feels in my hand. It has to have a certain thickness. I'm spoiled. I have a good friend named Bobby Gay. He owns a butcher shop. And so I get to go over there when he gets ribs in, and I get to thumb through them. And I can tell by the thickness of it in my hands when I pull them out and they're still frozen. So if they're pretty thick, I'll then on the on the bone side of rib, you got that brisket flap, I call it.
Mhm.
And it's on every rib. It's like a flap of meat.
Yeah.
The skirt, I make sure that skirt's on the same side of the rib on each one of them that I pick. So if it's on the right side, I make sure that every rib I choose is on that thing is on the right side, because that's going to help you have straight bones. And then I look at the color and the marbling.
So you look at color, then marbling.
Yeah.
Marbling's the least important for you?
You're looking at both at the same time, really. I mean, don't you? If it doesn't have any marbling in it, I ain't gonna pick it up.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I was saying in that instance, I gave 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, definitely marbling before color. Definitely marbling before color.
So so you got thickness, marbling, color, probably straight bones.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, every once in a while, so when you're thumbing through, let's talk about, because a lot of times it's hard to find, like you said, well, like we talked about chicken, ribs are the same way for majority of people who don't get to thumb through stuff. Like you're trying to source this yourself at normal grocery store or something like that. It's hard sometimes, and I mean you got some thin, like I said, there's some Ozempic ribs out there, at certain times of the year.
I would suggest.
What's your idea of like freezing them, or like do you pick through and freeze them, or?
Yeah, so two things. One, if you can't source out of your local area, I would look for Mr. Brisket or Corte Meats or the Butcher Shop in Panama City or in Pensacola. Those 3 places can ship to you. If you're in Florida or in Georgia, you got Bobby down in Gainesville. So all 4 of those places can get you what you want.
Yeah.
So when you go, so I will trim my ribs and freeze them. The only thing I don't trim and freeze is my chicken thighs. When I go to a contest, I don't freeze them. I trim them and go. And my pork collars, I'll trim them and go to a contest.
So you think the freezing, because I mean obviously, I think darn near every pro team I know, like you said, trims and freezes ribs. Like I can't tell the difference between a frozen rib and a fresh rib, honestly. Maybe there is one, but not. But what is it about chicken that you don't like freezing chicken?
So I used to trim and freeze chicken, and
because I like the convenience of it.
Yeah, I like the convenience of it too. But I was on a podcast with Urkel with Uncle Pig. God rest his soul. He told me, he's like, you freeze your chicken? I was like, yeah. He's like, man, not me, not ever. And so I stopped doing it. And again, a lesson. I don't know what it is about chicken, but my scores went up.
Huh.
I never had a problem freezing ribs or brisket. I started taking fresh pork and trimming it and going straight to a contest. Scores went up. I learned that from Adam Dawkins. And it's just little things like that. I don't know what it is. I'm not smart enough to know, but I am smart enough to learn from someone who's better than me and copy what they're doing. But yeah, ribs and brisket, I freeze and take to a contest and do pretty well.
Yeah. Josh, you ever had any issue freezing chicken, or?
I freeze. I mean, it's different this season. We're doing, with RCOA, it's wings. But up until that, I'd always, I would go in spurts when I'd have back-to-back comp weekends, and I do legs, not thighs. But I would just trim it and put lucky number 13 in there and freeze it and thaw it when I got there. And, I don't know. I don't know that I ever got to the point where I was really in the weeds that far of, am I seeing a difference on my taste or tenderness scores from frozen versus fresh when I would show to the comp.
I feel like Leininger freezes. I think I saw it on Barbecue League, or maybe he did or doesn't. I don't remember. I thought he said he freezes everything, which makes sense because as many as he does, he has to grab and go.
Yeah, I really don't know. I personally, I've never seen a difference with that, but that's just,
I'm sure there is. Like I said, none of us on this panel is smart enough to Bill Nye the Science Guy this for you tonight.
I think
But
a
what
lot.
you do is you brine it before and just don't tell anybody, and that makes all the difference.
Yeah, I love that 72-hour brine. Thank
I
you.
think it's a lot of mental too. You
Mhm.
try something, and from your own vantage point, right, your own small little world, you see your scores go up, and you're like, I'm big with that.
Yeah.
Like if I do something, I see scores go up, and I won't change at all. I'll be bullheaded about it.
Yeah.
And because that's what it took to get there. And there's probably nothing behind it, but you do it and it scores well, you keep doing it.
Well, it helps with your confidence, so it helps with your behaviors.
Oh,
You're not
yeah.
gonna second guess yourself.
The biggest thing is a schedule for me.
Yeah.
Like during comp week, man, we're from Sunday night. It's just every day I know what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
Friday when I get to a contest, Saturday morning to awards. You're on a regiment. Now it is going to get busy for me when like in May, I got a contest, and the very next week we got the World Invitational where they're going to be doing a chicken and a rib burn and then a double. So it's going to get real busy. But yeah, you get on just those routines. We got my mama chiming in here, Debbie King.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She's killing it, man. Threw me out there talking about mamas.
Sorry.
If it wasn't for my mom, man, I wouldn't have 5 people on here. No, I'm kidding. No. So let's talk about, like you said, your contest. I want to ask you, because like I said, you've had a lot of success. What's your opinion on because I'm sure now, like, let's talk about your first contest, like what you brought and kind of what your mindset was versus how you cook now. You know what I mean? Like as far as your preparation for approaching a contest.
So my first couple of contests, from a protein standpoint, I'm not lying. I would bring 36 chicken thighs, 6 slabs of ribs, 6 pork butts, 1 brisket, and I would bring the kitchen sink when it came to rubs and sauces.
Yes.
And I would just have an array of stuff. And now I cook 10 chicken thighs, 10 to 12, and then I'll do 12 wings, and then 4 slabs of ribs, and 6 to 8 collars, and then 1 brisket trimmed up with a point.
Right.
And it's you find out, barbecue league, the friends, you just learn along the way from failing and talking to people and doing classes to where you narrow it down to like, okay, this is what works. And whenever I do my barbecue class, you get it down to a couple of products that are going to work. And then that's what you run with. And then even if you go to a contest, and like I failed at Lakeland this year. I didn't do well at all. I got my hiney kicked, but I didn't change anything.
Right.
You don't change the world just because you have a bad contest. Keep going. If it scored once, it should score again.
Yeah. I feel like with the I'm less. I don't jump to conclusions more so at the larger contests, especially like the American Royal or any contest pretty much like has 60 or more teams. I feel like to a certain degree it's a crapshoot. I mean, you cook the best you can cook, but at the end of the day, you got to get lucky too. Versus more so like smaller contests. I mean, those I feel like you can really lock in. Like there's something wrong with your program. I feel like you find out more so there versus a monster contest like that. I mean, you've cooked a ton of contests, Ryan. What do you think about my opinion? Am I an idiot?
No. Well, this past weekend, I cooked a 15-team contest. Well, at that contest, 12 of the teams has shown the ability to win a contest. So there's 2 tables. So if you mess up, you can't be like, "Well, I hit a bad table."
Sure.
Because everybody's hitting the same table. And, you're really going at it. And a 15-team contest, I don't know, in my opinion, is just as stressful as, especially when you know everybody. Then you're like, crap, what if I get last? It's so it can be just as stressful as 95 teams at the Jack. I think you're right. There is a certain amount of, hey, am I going to hit the right table? But typically, guys that like Brad, you put him on a bad table, he'll still score well.
Sure.
You got some certain guys out there certain teams out there that have got it down pat to where they're cooking very consistently every time, and even when they hit a bad table, their teams are still going to have a consistent cook. I think a smaller contest, though, to answer your question, you can't really hide behind a bad table. It is what it is, and it's always good to win a contest and then come on a podcast. Really good timing. So that was good.
That's what I like to hear. It's always good to talk about the most recent win versus the most recent failure. That's for darn sure. When I have a win, I'll let you know how that works. Most of my podcasts are after a bad one.
I tell everybody, I'm like, you're not that far off. People think they're way off from getting a GC, and you're not. You are much closer than you think.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm still waiting for my first pro win. So speaking of big wins, as we say, man, you've had a pretty monster win here as of late, man. Let's talk about the Houston Rodeo.
Yeah,
that of in itself is on a different level than damn near every other contest in the world.
Yeah.
As far as prestige and just magnitude of what it means, because I mean, in Texas they eat, breathe, sleep, pray, barbecue, and beanless chili, which I don't understand that. But kind of talking about that whole experience. Obviously, you got the honor to go down there and cook on Champions Row there in Houston. Kind of tell me the whole experience of that.
Okay. Yeah. I got chosen to go down there because of the win at the Jack, and I-10 from Alabama to Houston really needs some work. So we really need to really talk to our government officials about fixing those roads.
Speak to your local representatives, guys.
Yeah, but you get down there, and for me, I've always heard the four big ones: the Royal, Memphis, Houston, and Jack. And it's been my personal goal to win all four. And to go to Houston was a big deal to me. It's charity. There's no money. You're going down there and you're going up against 249 of the best cooks on planet Earth. And you're sitting there at Champions Row with the winner of the Royal, the winner of Austin, the winner of last year's Houston, and you're cooking next like Bill with chicken fried and those teams, and it's just awesome. It's just, if you like to party and have a good time, you'll definitely love it, because there were some people come there to do
Just
one
that.
things, drink beer and eat barbecue. Beer's free there, by the way. They don't charge you for beer. You got to pay $5 for a bottle of water, but beer you can get for free. They just have it everywhere. And
God bless Texas.
yeah. So we get there, and it's me and Dan Patrick and Will. They came with me to the Jack, and I asked Tanya and Adam with Bad Rooster to come with me. And Tanya and Adam, Tanya did her dessert, which she's phenomenal at, and Adam is a damn good steak cook, and so he cooked the steak. And then we got there on Wednesday. Well, from Wednesday to Friday, I think we cooked like 6 half chickens, because we don't cook that. and so Fred came over, Bill came over and tried it, and we're just cooking all these half chickens, and we were more worried about that half chicken, and to be, I'm not trying to sound cocky, but I thought Adam and I could handle ribs and brisket pretty well. I was like, well, we'll be okay in those two categories if we can just get chicken right. Well, we got chicken right. We just didn't get the other two right. So Dan Patrick, it was truly a team effort, by the way. Dan Patrick, he trimmed the chicken. Will, he managed the drums. Adam and I did the brining and seasoning and jacking and the cooking of the product. Tanya, she did her dessert. It was truly a team effort, and it really took me by surprise because you put a mixing bowl of 5 different people in there to cook, and they're all pretty accomplished pitmasters, and you would think there would be some overstepping of some bounds, some stepping on feet, and there wasn't.
Yeah,
it was a good team effort, and so we got everything turned in, and we're sitting back there underneath these trees on Champions Row with everyone else. And you start, Bill with Chicken Fried said, hey, I think they're coming to announce. And they start blowing this whistle. I'm like, oh, man, so someone over here won. And they were like, it was you. I was like, oh. And they told it was for chicken. And we're just cheering and screaming. And it was crazy. And so each category, they took the top 10 behind stage at Houston. So you got 10 people for the ribs, 10 for the chicken, 10 for brisket, 10 for the open, which was steak, and 10 for dessert. And they called the top 3 of each one. And then they called the overall world champion. And they get to chicken. I'm like, well, at least, I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, well, at least I made the top 10. This is really awesome.
Yeah.
And they called me for first place, and I screamed like a girl. I was so floored. I couldn't believe they called my name. I thought it was a mistake. I was like, I just could not get over it that they called my name. And that was just, I wanted to jump up and down. And it was just, and then we get back and we're celebrating with everybody, and Tim Shears back there, and Fred Robles, he came over with Rio. He was like, I thought you said you couldn't cook chicken. I was like, I was unsure. And it was amazing. And then Houston is probably the loudest city you'll ever go to. And the
worst traffic ever too.
Oh man,
it rivals Atlanta.
But hands down, it's not the Jack. The Jack was, personal and emotional, and nothing beats the Jack, but Houston came pretty close.
I mean, I'm sure like the Jack, you've had a lot of success in KCBS, so you kind of got a grasp of how good you are, and you knew you had a shot. I'm sure when it came to Houston, you're just going down there, and you're just like, I'm just going to enjoy the experience, right? Like you're there, probably.
Get my name called here.
Yeah, you're like, you're like, whatever. If you got top 10, like you'd have been. I'm sure you were giddy just to hear your name top 10.
Yeah, just for them to come back there and give me a banner that said chicken finalist. I was like,
I'm good.
It's just, it was amazing. It's just, what's amazing about it is, for me at least, you work your career, literal blood, sweat, and literal tears over a period of time at a hobby that's turned into a career, and you go to the best of the best. I mean, the top of the top in the world, and your name is called, and it sets it apart.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, not many people have seen the top of that mountain. You know what I mean? It's some of the elites. Like I said, it's one of the big four, and it's not many people have seen the top of that mountaintop. So, congratulations, man! Like I said, I know. Oh, I'm sure you sweated more for that one than you did probably any of the other contests you've cooked.
Yeah, it was hot there.
Yeah, I mean, how was your approach to have chicken? Did that scare you about more? Like you said, that's scary or not scary, but like did that kind of make you think more about than anything else? when you
So
went
my
down
chicken recipe that I use is pretty good. Big shout out to my buddy Jason with Elite Barbecue Smokers because he helped me with it. And I've been running this recipe since November of 24,
there? Mm-hmm.
and it's been good to me. And so I didn't change as far as the recipe. I didn't change anything. I treated the half chicken as far as the injection, the brine, I treated just like I did my chicken thighs.
Yeah.
I mean, the timing was different, but the product I used was the same. And I do. Adam and I, Adam and I, Dan and Will. I knew we could get the flavor that we wanted, and I knew if we hit a good table, we should be in good position. I never thought we'd be top 10. I certainly didn't think that I was going to win chicken.
Right.
I thought we would be in the upper. I actually thought, my ribs are pretty good. I thought we were going to score higher in ribs. My ribs that day were on point. So
Yeah.
I had some ribs that day, and we were like 89th.
Isn't that how it always happens when you think you did good? You're like, well, this sucks. I know it's not doing anything.
Like, Adam and I and Dan Patrick, we're very blunt with each other when it comes to judging the other one's product. And
Sure.
we're that way for a reason. We're not trying to hurt each other's feelings. We're trying to
get better, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to say, hey, this is what I see that could be wrong. And those ribs that day are not. Here's a funny story. At the Jack, I'm sitting there, and I'm nervous at the Jack. It's the Jack, so I'm already nervous. So Dan Patrick, he's next to me. I'm like, okay, if I give you something and something's wrong with it, say something. So I slice a rib and I give it to him. He takes a bite and he walks out the trailer. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, it tasted great, so I didn't want to throw you off. I was like, well, you walking out of the trailer threw me off.
It sounds like my buddy AJ, man. Every time I give him something, he spits it out. I'm like,
oh my goodness.
Finally, everything I give him, he spits out. He won't swallow nothing. Finally, one day, I gave him a rib, and he took a bite and swallowed it. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, I'm cooking with gas today, baby. Like, I got me a top 3 call. I'm like, yes, I already knew it. Like AJ swallowed it. It's all that matters. That's all I was after. I didn't care about the trophy. He didn't spit it out.
We're getting shirts made right now that say AJ swallowed.
AJ swallowed. Yeah, I was waiting for that. I was trying to set you up, man.
Yeah, that's going to
check
be
out
great with his new
rightonq.com.
business
Make sure you buy all the merch. It's pecan, not pecan. And then definitely Flavor Blast, Use Explosion, AJ Swallows. No, I know. There's so many good one-liners on here. No, that's awesome, man. Like I said, I'm so happy. Like I said, it's always fun to see people that you like succeed, and I'm excited that to see you win on the biggest stages. Like I said, you're one of us, and it's nice to see you go down in Texas and kick some ass. Yeah. So I definitely am happy. And like I said, Adam, he had nothing but great things to talk about you here a couple weeks ago, when he was on the show. So love them to death as well. They're awesome people, and hell of a cooks, for sure. He's still a sandbagger. I don't care what he says. But no, man, that's awesome. So hey, speaking of, like I said, now that you've won the Houston Rodeo, and you won chicken. No, it's fine. We're saying the Houston Rodeo. That's like, it's chicken. It's good. Good. No, and you won the Jack, little thing called the Jack. Some people may have heard of it, some haven't. Great barbecue, terrible whiskey. But so like what's left, man? What else is the king of barbecue, Ryan King, gonna try to accomplish next?
Well, I ain't the king yet, but my goals are still the same every morning is give thanks to my Heavenly Father, and then just go out there and swing for the fences. And I try to do that every time I go to a contest, whether it be 15 teams or a world championship. I'm literally trying to do my very best every time, because I think this barbecue thing, this gift that I've been given, that we all been given, to sit there and cook in a parking lot for 6 strangers. It's brought me a lot of joy, and I want to get the most out of it. I want to do the best I can every time, and maybe sometimes that means that I don't get my name called, and I'm fine with that. I'm sitting there cheering for my friends, and then sometimes I do get my name called. But my goal is to win every time. We got the Jack coming this year, the Royal. We got the World Invitational, and then of course we're trying to hit these qualifiers for the Barbecue World Cup, right?
Yeah, man, you got to get that $1 million, baby.
I'm telling you, man. I just want to know: are they going to give me like a lump sum where they take some off, or are they going to spread it over like 20 years?
You know what? I don't care. Give me the annuity. I'll call JG Wentworth. 877 cash now, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it. No, like I said, man, like Ricky McGuire, man, just show me the money, baby. That's all I want. All I want. No, man. Speaking of, you've reached some mountaintops that most people don't. And if you, our viewers that are listening and watching, want to do that, man, Mr. Ryan here, you're gonna learn some of his secrets, because I'm trying to shig on the show. I may try to shig a little after the show, but you can shig and feel good about it by coming to one of this man's classes. You got a class you just announced, and you're gonna do a tell-all, right?
Yeah,
all
we had
4 proteins.
We had a class in February, and then we got one coming in September. It's in Jacksonville, Florida. It's a great class because you'll get there Saturday, and we'll start off the class, and we'll have some good fellowship time, and then I'll have a fish fry, where we'll have some shrimp and some fish right out of the Atlantic, and then the next morning we're going to run down the protein list, and we cover turkey, chicken thighs, chicken legs, wings, ribs, pork collars, prime brisket, and a Wagyu brisket. I think we actually have master judges at my class, and I'll actually cook everything, build the box. I'll hand it to my students. My students will then turn it into the judges, and the judges will judge it in front of them, and they'll be able to ask the judges why they judge it a certain way. And I think a student coming to the King's Barbecue class, the 2 biggest things that I think that they can really get from it is the feel of actual tenderness, what it tastes like, what it feels like, and then watching a judge judge it. And one thing great about cooking on the spot right there is I run across some problems. I'll have spiked temperatures. Something will be wrong, and that's real world atmosphere. And they can then take that information, real world information, take it to a contest, and then they can start scoring and hearing their name called. I love watching online FBA contests. They have one in Live Oak. I had a number of students in the top 10, and I'm cheering louder than anybody when somebody I know that took my class gets a call.
Oh, man, how much is how much?
$6.99 for a student, and then $4.99 for your spouse or your teammate.
Gosh,
and you get the full. You get a booklet that I make. My mother makes it. I just give her the information, and it has the timelines, the amounts, when to put it on, and then it also has some other recipes like Brunswick stew and coleslaw and stuff like that I use. So it's a very informative class. We go over a lot of stuff. And if you're a backyard team or if you're a pro team and you're looking to up your barbecue game, we're going to help you do that.
Absolutely. Man, I know, Josh, I'm sure you've been to some classes. I have been to quite a few classes, and that sounds like more value than most of them, I've heard of or seen. So, that's really cool. You bring the job. You do the full thing. You're not just like a show and tell. You're the whole kit and caboodle, and that's awesome. I definitely think no matter what level you're on, something like this man's class here is definitely going to get you to the next level or get you over that hump. Like you said earlier, you're not that far from a GC. And something like this man's class can get you the rest of the way.
Yeah. Go to kingsbbqjacks.com. You can sign up for it. And my goal is to give you every bit of knowledge I have so that you also can walk up there and get a GC. That's my goal.
There you go, man. All right, man. Ryan, now's the time of the show where I like to hit you with a little rapid fire questions.
Come on.
And then we'll get you on your way here in just a second, okay?
Let's go.
All right, man. The war in Iran, you think? No, I'm kidding. All right, man. When you're going to a barbecue contest, what is one thing you always have with you and you cannot say your thermometer?
Hot dog tongs.
Oh, yeah. That's been one of my greatest things, too. I love my hot dog tongs.
Oh, yeah.
All right, man. All right. If you're at a barbecue cookout, and somebody brags about how good their barbecue is, what is one protein and one side that they don't nail, you know they're full of it?
If they don't nail barbecue beans or if they don't nail chicken, they don't know what they're talking about.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, man. If if you got a meat Everest or no, a meat Rushmore, gosh, it's my own show. I can't think of it. It's one of those mountains, just meat. No, if you got a meat Rushmore, who's going to be on there? Who's four of the most influential people to you in barbecue?
Okay. Darren Worth, Brad Leiniger, Myron Mixon, and Tuffy Stone.
There's not bad list there. Not a bad list.
Uh-huh.
All right. If you had to rank the hardest proteins in KCBS, we all know the four. Give me number one, the easiest, number four, the hardest in a row.
The easiest is chicken. The next easiest is pork. The third would be brisket, and then the hardest would be ribs. Ribs is really difficult to get a perfect rib.
It's easy to be good. It's extremely hard to be perfect.
Yes, very.
And
hard.
that's what you need to be to beat this man. All right, man. All right. If the Pope has the Pope Mobile, KCBS has Rod Gray. What if you're going to give him a little, name for his vehicle he drives around in, what would it be?
The most powerful wagon.
The most powerful wagon.
After his greatest road, the most powerful stuff.
That sounds like that old meme. He's a big boy. He's a great big boy. He's got the most powerful wagon. Awesome, man. Awesome. All right, man. What is one rule if you're Rod Gray, you're in charge of KCBS and it was a dictatorship and not a whatever they are. What rule would you change and what would you replace it with?
What rule I would change and what I would replace it with? Oh my goodness. Rules. Give me a second. I would eliminate. I would say, okay, if you've been to KCBS and you've done more than 5 contests, you don't have to go to the Cooks meeting. And I would replace that with go fellowship with some backyard teams that are just getting into it and encourage them.
There you go. All right, man. We got a time machine, and we're taking you back to when you first entered competition barbecue. What is some advice you would give younger you at his first contest that you know now?
Get some sleep.
Yes.
It's not that you're never going to do good on Saturday if you don't sleep on Friday.
That's fair. All right, man. All right, we're in Jacksonville. Florida's not exactly known for the great barbecue. It's not one of the major regions, but there's got some excellent food. What is one underrated spot down in Florida that everybody needs to check out, and what is one of the most overrated spots that everyone needs to stay away from?
Oh, okay. Underrated, in my opinion, that not a lot of people know about is this place called Osteen's. If you are looking for the best seafood you've ever had, It's called Osteen's. It's on Anastasia Island. You will not be able to get inside to sit down. You'll have to order from the window outside. Do not bring a credit card. They only take cash.
My favorite kind of places.
Yeah. The most overrated place. Cracker Barrel.
Oh no, we're not doing that crap. You got to give me one of the major ones that everybody loves.
All right, let me think. One of the overrated.
That's like a McDonald's. And first off, shame on you, sir, for saying my Cracker Barrel.
The most overrated place to eat in Jacksonville
Yeah.
would be but I still like it.
I don't care. No, what is it?
So the most overrated place.
The owner probably doesn't watch this show, so
Yeah, he doesn't.
okay.
It's the Publix Deli. Let's just be honest. It's the Publix Deli. The
So-
rotisseries.
So this place is overrated, but it's not that I don't eat there. I do eat there, but it's the way some people talk about it. I'm like, all right, relax. It's okay. It's not that good. You know, it's good, but it's not. You know, it's not like
right home to mom about it.
Yeah. It's called Metro Diner. You know, and it's great for going in there and getting like chicken and waffles or breakfast or something. But to put it on Guy Fieri's show to come, nah, bro. It's a great little diner. How about that?
That's fair. All right, Ryan. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, dude. It's honestly been a pleasure and an honor to have you on, and I've enjoyed our conversation and look forward to see you. Gonna be a smoke.
I will not be in Tennessee this weekend. I have 2 vending events going on back to back, so
I got you.
I'll be home in Florida. I'll be thinking and praying about everyone there. Please find Adam and Tanya and mess with them.
I do every time.
Amen, man. You got to, but it's like you can't mess with them. Like Adam's never mad.
Oh, I don't know. I can try. Ask Josh. I'm pretty good at it.
Ha!
That's one of my favorite contests that I've never done before, and I hope one day I get to do it. It's like every year I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do it, and something, you know, you can't walk away from a vending or a catering event because that's actual money, right? And
that's a guaranteed prize at the end.
I'm
not hopeful.
Hard.
No, but I'll see you at the Worlds and I'll see you at the Royal. So at least I get to hang out a couple times this year.
Yeah,
man, this is the kind of show where I let my guests kind of give shout out to all their sponsors and let people know where to find you and all that good stuff. So take it away.
Well, they can always find me on Facebook, Instagram, or my website at kingsbbqjacks.com. I have one of my sponsors are Atlanta Barbecue Store and Sweet Meat Butcher Shop. And you can get my rubs and products from there. My rubs and products are also at the Barbecue Superstore. And if you see me at a contest, come see me. And then we got our barbecue class coming in September. And so come look me up.
I'm gonna look into that, man, because that's definitely my wife could go bebop and I can do some barbecue. So
I'm about 15 minutes from the beach.
That's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. She's been itching to get out somewhere. So we're going to Disney here in a couple weeks. So I'm gonna need
2 hours from there.
Well, Disney cruise. We're going Disney cruise. I'm gonna be on a boat with Mickey. I'm gonna drown that mouse. I think he's more like Scrooge McDuck with a bank full of money than he is more of a mouse. But anyways, that's a whole other podcast. But man, Ryan, thank you so much for coming on, man. I truly appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to come on, and best of luck with your future endeavors. And look forward to seeing you this year, buddy.
Absolutely, brother. Y'all take care, and great seeing both of y'all. And I'll see y'all out there on the circuit.
Yes, sir. Take care, buddy.
See ya.
All right, man. That's our show, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Mr. Josh Hess, man. Josh, thank you so much for coming on, buddy. I appreciate it. I always love to hang out with you and talk to you. And I liked hearing about your Costa Rica adventures, man.
It was a good time.
Not like I said, not many people get to experience that. You know, and I told you it's one of the most beautiful countries out there. It's just absolutely stunning. And 4-wheel drive, like I told you, is not optional there.
Well, Jamie had a golf cart for us, so that golf cart became an all-terrain vehicle.
Yeah.
And, fortunately, I know how to drive one of those things. So yeah, it came in handy, and we're working on the next part of our international leg. Jamie's got some stuff in the works, and
Nice.
we'll see where else we wind up this year.
Nice. I hear they got one in the Middle East somewhere. I don't know, Iran or something. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if we see you there. I'm messing. All right, guys, man. That's our show. And as always, I want to give a shout out to our show sponsors. Me and Josh are both big fans of Smoky Woods Barbecue. Guys, check out Smoky Woods Barbecue for all your barbecue fuel needs. Nothing powers barbecue like Smoky Woods. And also, as always, I want to give a big shout out to Barbecue Bus. If you don't know about it, then you're not winning barbecue contest. Make sure you check out, get you some of the beef show. Look for the animal with a stripper pole, and that's how you know it's a good stuff. Guys, like I said, if you enjoyed the show tonight and you want to hang out with us a little more down the weeks, and maybe I bring Josh back sometimes here. Make sure you give us a like, subscribe, follow, leave us a comment, leave us a review. We're on Apple and Spotify. I'm about to drop 5 episodes on both of those platforms tomorrow. I do apologize. I suck at life. But man, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you guys. And Josh, you have anything to say to our audience before I let you go?
It was a pleasure being back on the show with you, man. Different vantage point co-hosting, but it was a good time. And shout out, to my sponsors, obviously Smoky Wood, Paradise Pepper Co. out of there, Paradise, Texas, Oconee Gold, and of course Heath Riles.
Absolutely. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into our show. Like I said, please give us a like, subscribe, follow on any platform you ingest your media. And we'll see you next week on another banger. I should be here. Yeah, I'll be here. So I'll say, if I'm not here, one of the other awesome people will be. But thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with us. And as always, when it comes to barbecue, make sure you're always right on cue. See you guys.
That's all, folks.